decent. Yeah. The trifecta blouse. And some blue. Yeah. Some proper green. Yeah. Trying to draw the what was it called again? Shoot. I only have the image up. Supervisor. Trying to draw the supervisor fly. Got this far. Just gotta color it in. It's just the part I'm really excited about. So, did not sleep much last night, to say the least. I slept on the floor, and a little critter code found and needed some help, so spent the night taking care of that, and yeah, so didn't sleep much last night, but that's okay. Needed it. And very wild out here, Florida swamps. Found these beads that fit perfectly, and I think the size is pretty decent. And so I'm gonna tie some nymphs with some of this. I'm having a hard time getting the body shape, like what I have in mind. So trying to think of what to wrap it with, and I'm thinking some of those silly legs, or trying to get also some worms. I'm gonna make some worms for the baths out here. Start focusing on that. I also pulled out some solder. Ooh, some solder. I'm gonna use this to wrap. It's quite heavy. And I do have like the hollow core solder. I wanted to look at what other ones I had. Oh no, forgot what I was wearing. The button came undone. This is from the 60s. It was actually attached to a dress. However, the dress was absolutely destroyed. And this is too. See, this is what Florida vintage looks like. Bursting at the seams. However, I'm gonna have it restitched, or restitch it myself. The print on it is out of this world. It silk, so it's a little wrinkly. And really into this. So, oh, okay, I knew I had this stuff. Alright, so I also have this. And I want to weigh a little bit. So I got some multi-purpose scissors for wire, everything. And this also, which I believe is just about the same thing. Actually, feels thicker. So, cut that bit off. It's just knurled up. I want to try to get a similar length. And, oh, where's the other? Some sterling silver wire. I had some copper color match solder, however, I can't find it anywhere. I used to do a little bit of metal work. Okay, I'll try those. Because even if I don't, I mean, obviously I can use that for the small flies, but for the larger, maybe saltwater lures, I'll go ahead and try that. I had to jack up. Oh, let me actually put the dog in the other room. Let's see. Oh, okay. I also remembered that I have another jewelry stand, like a display stand, and I just remembered I also have more craft fur. It's not very long, but could possibly use it for something. Forgot. Code took his or needed his stand that I jacked I jacked from him. He jacked it back. Oh, I appreciate that. It's a little chaos station. I call it the creation station. And yeah, just a little spare room of codes that I was able to commandeer for crafts purposes. I do a lot of crafts, whether it be jewelry, making things, just vague things, and so this room is usually quite chaotic. I wish I could figure out this as a backdrop. I wanted it to be sitting like this, but the desk is here and it's like it's such a big meaty desk, so I can't move it by myself. And gonna probably take COD out. My controller's broken, and that's the second controller that I've broken. So I think my days are over, and I'm gonna try to take that desk out to get to the vintage and sell all that off. And I've been saying that for a long time. How I just can't really access it right now. I put the PS4 right in front of it. It was a storage room. So let me get this up. So, you're a YouTuber's STF1. Very cool. What kind of stuff? If you're still here. Let's see. Oh, wow. Very cool. Rita Caraballo, I'm making flies. So I made these ones, or this one yesterday. It's a hollow fly. I think it's also called a tube fly. I forgot. Someone said it in the comments yesterday too. But essentially fake little fish and fake bugs to use to catch fish and gift. And I really want to make some of the historical patterns to make shadow boxes. It'd be really cool to find, to land on a few patterns and find people that live in those areas, and perhaps they could send some river stones or anything like that that would be found in or on or near water, and put the pattern that was designed for that water, and like maybe a little bit of history, and have it open so you could actually use the fly. And it'll come with a few different flies, so you could just replace it and that kind of thing. I was thinking about other ways to make worms. This one is not very good. It looks more like I caught a piece of rope. This is very wrinkled. It's from the 60s. I can't get over it. The print, I totally forgot about it. I been collecting vintage since I was 13, so I have a little bit too much clothes. However, out in the Florida swamps, I don't get to wear them very often. But see, it's a piece of rope essentially. I took the really low quality EP fibers and twisted them, which is how I do cords and like friendship bracelets and that kind of thing. However, I saw it in this book, and that's one thing that I'm really stoked on, honestly. Doing so much crafting and jewelry making, I really like the small handcrafts, and it translates beautifully in this. Oh, I opened to the page and everything. That's what I was going for. I decided to try to make the whole thing a worm. Hey David, how you doing today? Hey PN, coffee. I do want to get into tea. I've drastically cut back on coffee and haven't had a monster in a few days. I overdoing it in the coffee department a little bit. So last night I did that tube fly, and I also did this old pattern called Wormfly. And this is the first attempt. It's from the Shetlands. And I don't know where Girlsa is. I actually couldn't find any information, but apparently they do really well in Girlsa. So that was the first attempt. Not very good, but it's still quaint. And that's the second attempt, which I really like tracking because I'm still a beginner. I'd say about 2 months in, and slowly getting all the materials, which has probably been the thing that has taken the most time. And there's no fly shops around me. So let's see. Hello, Sandeep Arya. Very cool name. Hello, Imran. Formosa, Argentina. Very nice. How are you doing today, Angel? Or Angel, my bad. Yeah. I wish the yarn hollow fly worked. It didn't really. Maybe if I put more material, but I wanted to try to tie this in the manner of those EP bait fish today, and where you kind of like cut the shape up, but I don't think the fibers are rigid enough for that. But if I just tied it in like that, but tied it also in on the other side, maybe it would have produced a better shape. I just have so many colors of yarn, and like if I cut these bits off, it would have kind of a neat shape. And I got a few more too. I don't know if this one has enough material. I'm still in that bend of not knowing if I'm putting too much material or not nearly enough material. And I really gotta stick them in the fish tank or get a clear glass or like a baking tray or something just to drag them until, until I'm able to test it. Oh, there was one thing. Oh man, I was supposed to look it up as soon as I come in here. Because I was like, wonder how this would do it. Dang. Well, anyway, this is called, okay, Nymph patterns. I just want bead head, yeah. That's it. I don't have that type of hook though. It's very pretty. It's got peacock curl body. Looks like some hackle like sparse hackle feathers on the tail, which on a few that I've done that I put way too much material. Like I was making a little woolly grubber or something. Way too much material. I don't know why it took me so long to look at what the fly pattern is replicating, but when I did, what that's replicating is those two little tendrils in the back of these things. And so let me look up Nymph. No, because I don't know how to describe it perfectly in words. That's not it. What? I just realized I have a book for this. So they're, yeah. So the tendrils are so small. So when I was putting huge tufts, it was not at all replicating this. Those three tiny little tendrils, and that's why in Nymph patterns. Well, not that one. Isn't that gorgeous though? Like, oh, what did I do with the one I really liked? But anywho, you'll see like these super sparse butt tails, and that's that. Granted, there's thousands of things that these things could be replicating, but say sparse. That's something that I didn't pick up on until very recently. So this is the one I was gonna try. However, is this a jig head hook? I only have these curved hooks currently. So that's a damselfly nymph, which, from my understanding, damselflies aren't considered true emergers for those emerger ones because they emerge or they like finish their transformation on land, but there's still a bunch of nymph patterns. I need to reread that so I could say it better and less wrong. But yeah, I do a lot of digging in water barrels to feed my fish. I have gambusia, which are mosquito fish, and they eat mosquito larvae. Got some split ends. Yeah, the fabric in this 1960s silk. Gonna do red maybe. I was thinking of having like a red neck, but I guess I should probably look at what nymphs are in this area. But I'm not gonna do that actually, because these are for practice, and if these would work in somebody else's area, I'm more than happy to ship it. I could really use some feedback. So what I'm thinking is, maybe I should just do black. Black peacock curl, and new black thread is coming any day now. Fresh, not brittle black thread. Oh yeah. Stoked. I hope I got the right size because I haven't been getting the right size. I thankfully got very watercolor friendly colors. I mean watercolor, geez. Saltwater friendly colors in the this ultra thread UTC, that's it. It's very thick, perfect for saltwater. However, I'm trying to get some like multi-purpose supplies. So for the small flies that I have the hooks for currently, it's just much too thick. So found, I think it's also the same brand. Let's try to, yeah, it worked. I could tell you exactly what size. The red is awesome. Ooh, okay. Oh, okay. That explains the random band of colors in these. I'll stick with red. Should I match the tail to the trigger point? This red is much more buttery. So I lined that up. Oh, trigger point. I'm actively remembering that. I made some buzzers, and I was using, just like the pictures I was seeing, the goose biots to make little stripes, which I always wondered how people did that looking at flies. Like, here's an example. That's Code's grandpa's. These were hand-tied in Scotland. This one has tinsel as those like side things, but I always used to see that, and I always wondered how people did that. Because like I've used plenty of thread and string and floss crafting, and knots and securing things has always been honestly my weak point. I can never trust knots, and I'd over knot things. I wonder why things were snapping. So I used to come up with all kinds of ways to hide knots in jewelry. I would have adopted a lot of these techniques decades sooner if I explain this a bit sooner. Not a time like the present though, and I never plan on stopping crafting. I will have pom-poms and popsicle sticks into my 80s. Tails can be black or brown. So, ooh, another weak point I have is knowing how many fibers to put. It seems like I put far too many. And is this useful because it's speckled? But I have a big old drawer of random bits. Maybe that's too sparse. I got some thicker ones. Oop. Let's see this. Oops. God, it just always feels so wrong. No, I'm just kidding. Alright. Is that? I'll count. There are 4. No, there's like 5 or 6. Oh, and how long? I wrote down a little cheat, and I don't know if this is like for every fly. I mean, guarantee not, honestly. Nothing's like that. But tail, I just saw on a site like a wing shank length, hackle 3/4 shank length, tail shank length. Oh, and I didn't look to see if this stuff should point like down or not. Okay. Ugh, did not want that. Let me just get this down. Oh shoot. I didn't like position the shoot because well, that's one of the benefits of being able to go back. I better check on my little buddy real quick. I was gonna bring him in here. Alright, so the thread was meant to be black and use thread as thread. Oh. Shoot. Whoops. Black will be absolutely next. I will, let's see. Oh, well, I could just make sure I have it nice and covered with the dubbing. Is that too sparse? And is it too long? And it should be Sorry for all the questions. And should it be like down here or like that? Because I guess I am using one of these curved buzzer hooks. I'll use, oh shoot, but it's gonna be, I wonder if this is not supposed to go, shoot. I wonder if I even have enough material on it, or if I should find some more rigid feathers. Let's see. Black. This is like a really dark. It's almost black. Blue. But maybe these more rigid tails will be better. Nope. Okay. Well, let me check on my body real quick. Yeah, and I'll pull some imagery. Oh yeah. For okay, so keep that like straight. Be right back. Got some coffee on too. So going to kind of grab some of these super even. No, that might be too much. Let's see. Oh, here, I'll take Let us see. Oh, let us see. I'm gonna get those plasticky bits off. And get a little bit of a taper going, or is that? Okay. Yeah, because I'm gonna have that peacock curl. Might look, alright, so I've got a perfect piece right here. And I'm gonna try to dub the neck, peacock curl, then dubbing, and then that red band. Shoot, this doesn't look good. Let me just see. I think I'm gonna go backwards. Oh, I'll need some wire too. I go backwards. So, well, my thought process is that it slightly tapers, so maybe it'll produce a nice body. Like I'll keep a taper. But he's doing all right. Okay, what are you doing? Okay. It's not the best quality thread, but I tell you what, this red is so buttery. Okay. Hope everyone's having a beautiful day. Code caught his first bass the other day. And so trying to find some more bass patterns. And really want to try to do some worms. Was gonna also do this incredible pattern that I came across on shorts. Oh my gosh, it was brilliant. I'll pull it up and I'll link it or say the title. It was so impressive, and it was a rubber band, and I had rubber bands set out because it was one of the earliest non-fly tying materials, fly tying materials that I learned about and the many uses, but I can't find them anywhere. And me saying they're in here somewhere is akin to they could be anywhere. Okay, that's where the dubbing's gonna go in my mind thus far. And this is some Good old peace of mind wrapping. You know what? I might have to take my necklace off. I think it's competing with the camera's focus. Sure. Cause I kind of want like a thick neck or right? Oh, let me put this down. Oh, tail's gonna be black. I do make jewelry. I make all kinds of jewelry. I have a ton of resin molds and I could put absolutely anything in them. Like from anything to like skulls, crucifixes, even the Sailor Moon ones. I really like the resin because I could add not only the plants that grow here, but all kinds of different random stuff. And also salvaged copper jewelry is something I've been doing pretty extensively the last few years. I could grab some stuff. I did put a lot of it away after discovering fly tying, but I have so much made, and my favorite is custom stuff, like tell me materials and colors, and there's something up. It's handmade stuff, so it's not like, you know, like handmade, I'm talking like pliers and wire cutters. I do a little silversmithing, however, very salvaged, like even the bezel wire is hammered sterling, like usually broken chains that I melt into a blob. I really want to blend the two, trying to think of ways to soak the flies in resin so I could encapsulate some in some pendants. Or get some old pocket watch cases and put a fly in it. Because I really been trying to learn of some historical patterns. So my dubbing noodle isn't going very well. I think it's much too thick. But let's see. Okay, I think that's good. I wonder if this will stay. So it didn't come out quite like I had in mind. So I'm gonna have to either doodle it, then I could show y'all what like my mind is wanting. Yeah, I'm gonna do that because this is not it. Might do some, I don't know, but this is not it. I can't quite make stuff from mind yet. Like I could think of a necklace and make it just like how it looks in my mind. But with this, not yet. I lost the little piece of Velcro I found, and I've been seeing that in videos. I have this. Get the loose bits, and this blend is rabbit fur and acrylic and some church fur. I see a piece. So I don't know how it will do. But I really want to get into making these guys. They seem to bring a lot of joy. The Nymph thing. Shoot, well, that's not it. But, you know, let's just start. See church hair. My fingers are already gross. Touching a lot of this wire. I'm always brutalizing my hands, so the last thing I thought I would ever do would be having something involving my hands up close. I can't stand it. And my hands are frozen solid right now. But that is it thus far. The first go. And yeah, trusties. Nope. I don't know why I would ever call these my trusties. I can't hold anything with they just pop out. Application. See, that's not it. There's some stuff that I'm just not too into on this guy. But I might be able to get that a little less. It has rabbit fur, acrylic, and this these sheeny fibers from mohair, or skein of mohair yarn. I don't mind the color combination, I think it's quite lovely. But the shape isn't exactly... I'll show you, I'm not sure how good this is for dubbing, for dubbing purposes, but I've been taking any fur jackets I have and using this flea comb takes a minute. Rabbit. This is probably 80s. Maybe even a little newer. And it's the softest. It's not rabbit mask fur or face fur, but it's so soft, and it's the under fur. It's super, super soft. And the other thing, I have a pretty large bag of fur scraps for a few reasons. I can't throw away like good materials, and for some reason I always come across falling apart fur jackets. This was not falling apart, it was in perfect condition, but one of the dogs just like chew it to pieces. I used to actually wear this a lot. It goes around your shoulders. But, and I'm not sure exactly what fur this is, but also has a ton of underfur on it. And since it's falling apart, there's a bunch of these scraps. And that has a ton of those guard furs. And they're much thinner than deer hair. Ton of underfur. I don't think it's... I'm running a total... I used to be pretty good at identifying fur because worked in a vintage shop. But for some reason, I'm running a blank on it. I'm mixing the two. Whoops, I didn't know my face was on camera. So dead staring at this. The big bits out. But mixing the two for a nice grayish, beige-ish. It looks like cookies and cream almost. I probably really want to do more caterpillars, so ooh, slept on the floor last night. So it's Anthony. It's a craft channel where we explore all kinds of directions in the world of creativity. I think the channel started off like plants, and I did like a bunch of like random craft supply unboxings a long time ago, and plants, and then it morphed into pixel art, and I forgot what came in between, but I kind of fell out of making jewelry because I was making so much, and I lived so far from like the downtown area, places that I would do like craft shows or little markets and that kind of thing, out in Florida swamp. So there's not a lot of that, and stuff was just piling up, and I couldn't use it all, and got into fishing pretty extensively, or back into fishing, grew up fishing, and really wanted to put effort into actually learning rather than just going with my dad and throwing a hook in the water, and which the lack of local Florida catch or local seafood really triggered that. And Code went to Scotland to visit his family because he's from Stirling, and brought back a box of his grandpa's flies, and it's just everything, all the bridges were, here's a very small one, well, not very small one, they're smaller, but a ton of flies, and I never really got to, I mean, I've seen them in frames or antique shops and that kind of thing, but I've never got to really hold one and like really look at it, and just fell in love with it. And a lot of crossovers as far as like different methods of using materials and natural materials and salvaged materials. I feel like was a little bit of a natural evolution, and so for the last 2 months, about give or take, been really putting in pretty much all my energy to learning fly tying. Actually, I haven't been fishing in a minute because I'm so stuck on this, and I actually heard in a video of I forgot what fly fishing, like ooh, it's like a legion essentially, and one of the guys said that he could stop fishing tomorrow, but he would still tie flies. And I'm Southeast Florida, so I do really want to focus on like saltwater flies, but right now I'm trying to learn just about every pattern. Like this one, the first attempts at a deceiver, which will be earrings very soon. very soon. Stoked on that. And before I had tied any flies, I was decorating hooks. Now, the first hooks I decorated is the thought that counts, alright? I was just putting rhinestones down the shank for flash, and that kind of thing. And then I make a lot of resin jewelry, made a lot of resin jewelry. I really like UV resin, so I started decorating hooks this way. You can see the holographic belly. Let me zoom in. The holographic belly. Every year for Father's Day, I would make my dad a bunch of decorated hooks, so it was already And I'm talking for the last like 15 years I've done that. And but just like adding rhinestones to them with craft wire, like the stuff, it was definitely thought that counts, and the stuff wasn't gonna be like fishable, but it was gotta, and like some of them will definitely be effective, but just like one-time use, which is no good. And this was inspired by the Blob, a pattern I found here on YouTube. And doesn't it look like he just like ate a bunch of crustacean? Or like slurped some crustacean? And the eyes I just made with glitter, 2 pieces. Spent a good chunk of time making random materials, and still there's so many things that I want to try to make. Like I spent the last few days doing dubbing, which got a nice, you know, it's $20 for a tray of all different colors, and you probably get way more than this. So probably worth getting just a tray, unless you have a coffee grinder. I do not. So this took 2 days to make all these colors. Acrylic, furs, there's that sheen. And it took 2 days to make these. I hand pulled every single yarn fiber apart. That's the fur jacket. And I just cut the pieces of yarn in pieces like this, and quite literally pulled every fiber. Definitely looking for a coffee grinder. So, I'm not sure what I want to tie. Oh, I wanted to show a few more things. My favorite oh yeah, these wings, which I just took the really, really thin fly tying wire, the thinnest I have currently, and make a loop, which I just wrap it around like a nail or a pencil and then stretch it, and then you add resin. You just dip it in resin like you're about to blow some bubbles. And it makes they're so light. I could weigh them. They're so light. And you could add more resin to make like them, or you could crinkle some wire, which I wanted to do but didn't get around to it. Crinkle some wire and lay it in the wings to get them like all like wing looking, but not at all necessary. My hands are so cold and dry, I'm not even exaggerating. Okay, so see, it's just like you dipped it in bubbles, and it's nice wing, and it's featherweight, like it is light. I know in flies it's so like almost just the details like astronomical, so it might have weight in certain scenarios, but these are really like, I can't wait until my skills are a little bit up where I can get wings in the same place on both sides. But they're really fun to make, really easy to make, and takes not even a drop of resin, and you can make them absolutely any shape. I plan on trying the origami wings using the feathers. I'm waiting for my hands to be a little bit yes, less useless when holding on to such fine materials. And then these eyes are just one piece of sequin, just one big white sequin, or glitter, like spangles, like to be thrown in the air. I got them at a party shop. And then one tiny piece of glitter, which Mr. Resin sells a kit of tiny little bottles, got on sale one day, and some chunks of mylar, and it makes these really iridescent. And you could dome them more, but they're pretty sturdy, and you just glue those on, or like do the resin thing. But I really like how they came out. One day I'll find some proper round glitter, but right now I have stop signs. And there's a bunch of the mono crustacean eyes, which were one of the first things that I learned to make. Some have beads in it, some have burnt bald ends and then painted. But one of the funnest things to make, and I'll definitely be using these methods for making little like alien flower earrings or anything. Even a few of those hanging off out of like a bullet shell or something would look sick, in my opinion. And there's tiny little ones, same method. One piece of glitter to, or well, 2 pieces of glitter, just resined together, some iridescent ones. And they're really sturdy. They're the first things that I made for this purpose. This is my favorite. Haven't made any more. I'll make more when I begin to use them. Or if anybody wants some eyes. Where's the thing? So somehow lost the bag of. Let's see. I made so many random eyes. Like these are from the 3D printer. And it's just these 2 little round black and painted with resin or the like head cement, glossy orbs. Yeah. And 3D printer, it took like 2 seconds to print those. And these are like studs you'd put on a jacket. And I just cut those teeth off of them, and attached them with resin to a piece of mono. And I ended up with these really big, super eyeball eyes, which could be tucked in with like dubbing or I don't know. And they have weight to them, so they're like weighted. But look how big they are. Just a few drops of resin. And I might have been yesterday or the day before, I spent some time making these types of mono eyes. They all have black pupils. But these have been lovely. And I think that's most of the eyes that I'm like thrilled about. And I still haven't figured out how to use these, which I plan on it, I just don't know. And I just decorated them very quickly. But still haven't used them. Decorated them on a live stream. Learning here, and it'll be cool to see in 5 years, like back when I sucked. No, just kidding. I quite like I don't know how well some of them will catch fish thus far. However, I've really thoroughly enjoyed every piece this far. Have some tails prepared to make some flies. Inspired by Stan's Flies here on YouTube. Stan's Flies, he creates some of the coolest fly patterns that I mean, all of them are just beyond art. It really blows my mind. And I really wish I began sooner. Spent a lot of time art shows, galleries, this, that. Not bragging or anything, but like, this is on a whole nother level. I just can't get over it. I have not gotten bored in the least bit. Just scrolling and look. I haven't been even run into like. There's a few flies or fly patterns that I've run into like the same one a few times. Hardly though. It's wild, truly wild how expansive this incredible world, seeping in human heritage, is. not sure. Maybe a pink and red hollow fly for personal reasons. I like pink and red together. Maybe pink, red, and white. Make them for my mom. Everyone's getting flies for Christmas. Not even kidding. One cool thing about being a crafter, or at least just like enjoying crafting a lot, is I haven't bought a gift in years. Always handmade. Or like, I mean, occasions where I do. It's trying to think what I did with it. I did kind of want to try one with this stuff, just to see if it would work. Because this stuff is smaller stuff, I don't know if it's great. Very much a pain to work with. But for larger saltwater flies, it looks great. And it like has enough length to move. Oh, I better go check on my body. I better check on my body. I shall return because I have big old responsibility today. It's doing good. I wonder, let me look up one or two things. I just want to see if I could ID that jacket. Could it be? Is it mink? Looks like it. Is this what that is? Is this mink? Because if it is, isn't that like a semi-aquatic, like for, you know, maybe not. Yeah, semi-aquatic. What's a sea mink? Wow. Mink for fly time. Cool. Oh, I wish I could make strips with this. However, it's really it's disintegrating. Oh, look at that. I'll keep a piece out, keep a piece in. So it was really nice, but all this is like useful and it could be made into cuffs. So one day I plan to learn how to sew properly. And I have a bunch of other hair straps, like a jacket. There's like a bunch of bird straps. Like, what could this be? I really wanted to make a barbarian outfit, but I think I don't know. Hey, if this isn't totally the can I make a strip with something? Alright, I'm going to cut this. Oh, it probably is dry rotted. I just want to make some zonkers so bad. Do I hear silver juice? There is a house in New Orleans. I'm talking about a different house. Ooh, dubbing, hello. Well, I want to see what the guard hairs do, because I see some people leaving them, and like it produces like a nice boogie look. But these are quite rigid, so maybe not. New Orleans. What? Oops. Why did I... Okay. Nobody looks good, like, looking down, super focused on what's in their hands. 100 years ago. Yeah, that's super... What a shame. But that's a ton of fur. Look at those hairs. They get poofy at the end. I'm not sure. I hope YouTube can't hear this. So, can you hear music? I'm so scared of getting... I'm live for 69 minutes. I wonder what animal this is. Ooh, that is perfect. It just like stays formed. It's very dense. It's actually quite hard to comb through. Mosquito bites, always. Can't wait. That's the only part of winter that I really get down with is mosquitoes. So places that are really hard to enjoy, quite frankly, during the summer, like the swamp, the grass or wetlands, cypress forests. Very brutal during the summer, but during the winter there's not as many spiders hanging at face level or mosquitoes. Very nice time of year for that. I am trying to get better at dressing during winter, so I haven't found any pants yet. I kind of gave up on that. Little Donkey Andy had like the closest, but I think I'm just gonna find wool skirts and fleece lined stuff. I'm trying to find clothes that will last me for years rather than seemingly months. And the new stuff just, I'm not the biggest fan of modern clothes for a few reasons. The pants are just like useless, but on top of that, the fabrics have just gotten very uncomfortable. And like the skirt I'm wearing is probably early 2000s, which is kind of the cutoff. Stuff goes downhill rather quickly, and women's clothing especially. Oh, a little grizzly tip. So now making some mystery dubbing. I want to start experimenting with this stuff and maybe seeing how long it takes to sink, like a balled up bit of it, or how much water maybe it absorbs. This is silk, real silk. It is so comfortable. Very wrinkled, but you know. It's very old, and I just stumbled across it. I was looking for a shirt to wear, and I was like, oh my god, I still have this. That's got a big bin of vintage stuff in there. Mostly repairs, because Florida fabric dry rots so quickly, and I'm bursting at the seams quite literally. Seams are ripping. Just give me a flashback, like of walking around Lake Worth with someone and be like, oh my god, I like your dress. I'd be like, thank you, it's falling apart. Brushing fur in Southeast Florida. Point of view, brushing a scrap of fur in Southeast Florida. Check this out. It's so dense. Whatever this is probably could go in water and like fully submerge yet stay bone dry. If anybody knows what kind of fur this could be from, it's from a jacket or a cuff or a collar, some article of clothing. But there's a lot of underfur. Usually it takes quite a bit just to get a little pinch out of like the rabbit jacket or the other things that I've been brushing. And that's upset. Quite, you can hear how dry it is, I bet. What does that say? So much. I just want to see. I'm not sure how to properly do it because when I see in videos, it looks so effortless. But so one guy say if you can't get it to stay on the thread, to just like slowly feed it in. I have slightly better luck with the dubbing loop. I think it's partly because of the materials. I have been looking for rabbit masks. Too cool. And I also have some mystery feathers, but I don't know. They were gifts, and I just don't know. Like, I want to make a good amount of it, because I think this mixed with that mohair, I'll have to ID it first, because I don't want this to have one, like feature and then add like something with the opposite feature with it. And from my understanding, wool sinks, just absorbs water very quickly, which is why like wool socks are so brilliant, because it keeps the moisture off your feet, from my understanding. Could be wrong. The more I brush the underfur out, you could really see the coloring. Oh, it's so smooth. I want to look at the good amount of that. I don't like ball it up, but I kind of get back and forth to make like a disc. But nice color. And that mixed with the pink, I think will make a really nice purple. A super nice purple. And have a good amount of this. Maybe this is also mink of sorts. Is this intact though? Well, getting some underfur won't hurt nothing. Really nice, kind of ambery, coppery brown. Feels aquatic or semi-aquatic. That almost cold to the touch for things intact. I keep them intact because there could be maybe a jacket that has the right measurements for this, and so I have to be able to put it back on a piece of clothing. Nice. I actually used to have buttons on some. I used to run into those a lot, perhaps for cleaning purposes. Now that I think about it. Yeah, it's cold to the touch. And you can see the guard hairs, or the like hair fur. Got some thread. There's like bits of sheen in it, but I'm not sure if I could kind of see bits of like sheen in it. Very cool. And it feels semi-aquatic. It's very shiny. I'm not sure what it could be. But they're very old. Some of them are don't really have any modern. I mean, I have like some 80s jackets, but all these scraps are super old. like 40s, 50s. The one jacket I believe is from the 60s. Could be 50s. But... and I used to wear it all the time, like every day during winters. It just fit really good. And at that time, like, fur was dirt cheap at thrift stores, especially here in Florida. And now it's back to super pricey. And there's only one thrift store I really know of that keeps women's jackets, like hardcore jackets, in stock, because this is Southeast Florida and it's not. Okay, got a little pinch of this stuff. And see the color difference. Nice. And this would be good for also for wool, what is that called? Where you use the wool roving to, oh, what is that called? I have the needles for it. You can make stuffed animals and, well, velvet flower, oh, I forgot. The, there is, let me first do the flower lady, because that's something I've been talking about for a while, because, I can't help but think that it would be, so the channel is called Marvelous Passions, and she's essentially making like dubbing brushes, and it's really wild how many shapes she can get, and it's all with silk fibers. And I'll just share a link, even though they're not clickable. But she makes essentially dubbing brushes. And it's like, I seen furled hackle, which is like kind of like the worm twist, where you twist it and you let it twist in on itself and you just like pinch the end so it doesn't unravel. It's like a blend of that and a dubbing brush, like in texture. So I wish I could figure out, but if you're on a PC, you could like copy the link. But Marvelous Passions is the channel name, and I've never seen it done. I think that's awesome, mate. My poor jacket. This was it. If anybody lives in like a not super populated area and sees fur jackets in their thrift stores, I will gladly pay the shipping to get here. Very hard to find these days, but Tesla technology, especially the older stuff, the cuts are like really nice. That's the one reason why I always preferred older clothes, is like the cuts and the shapes of the clothes are way better. And it's hard to find. Oh, there. Oh, okay, so that's not gonna be useful. The craft fair, but it's way too short, I feel like, to do anything. Okay, here's something different. I'm not sure this would be. This it just looks like the bottom of like a bathing suit. Oh, it's so soft. So the smallest amount is that jacket collar, and the big poof is the mystery. And this is the second mystery for just trying to keep tabs on what is what, because I don't know what I would write on a bag anyway. Mystery 1, 2, and 3. But nice. Like the pattern, you can't see too well, but it's got these really nice. What's that? Is that the marvelous thing? How did you do a blue link? Ooh, nice. Real nice. So, color-wise, a little ashier, but pretty well the same color. Very nice. So let's see. I think that one's gonna be my personal best bet. I gotta ID this. Oh, it's so soft. It's like, I'd love to see what this originally came on. Got most of these scraps at a yard sale, and then various ones from finding clothes falling apart, but taking the good bits off. I have a ton of old lace, but I don't think that's gonna be useful in this. Maybe for like shadow boxes or something. Really old lace, hand knotted or tatted. Oh, it's so sick. I just don't know what this could have been. This print, it's like wood rings, tree rings. Huh. Me. Oh, okay. Hey! That looks like a bubble. Doesn't it? Found a skull with a hole. They had good aim. A skull with a hole. Okay, better check on the body real quick. But I could grab that skull if anyone would like to see the skull with a hole. I shall. Check this out. So it's got a lot intact, but whoa. Live right across the canal from hunting grounds. Not intense. You see it on the other side. But you know what? That's peace of mind. They had really good aim. You know, better than a gator. And they feed their whole family and probably their friends. My dad fishes, but my dad's closest friend hunts pretty extensively. And so when he gets one of his catch it acquisitions processed, there's a bunch of sausages, actual steaks, all kinds of stuff, and you know, they don't go up and get a school. I almost said a school, but you know what I mean. It's when I was younger, I was quite horrified, but I always fished, and like I was kind of like, why do that when you can fish type thing, but there's so much value in it, and I wish I could get into it. However, my goal is to trade fish for meat, because, you know, I do eat meat, so. And it does, unless things truly do change quality-wise, it's gotten harder to find good, whole, clean, local food in grocery stores, and it's the stores that are everywhere, and there's not many out here. There's only Publix, and now there's going to be an Aldi. For snacks and like, you know, stuff like that, but for like bulk meat, it doesn't do. And like the Aldis here are always pretty rotten, and like the only meat they'll have is pork chops. I swear it's human, and it's like $3, and which is a good price, but you know, it's hard to really hard to eat like how your body wants to eat, I guess, because I'm just as susceptible to all kinds of like, you know, standard American food as it is today. But you know, I've been just getting really simple with that. Instead of making a big like fancy side, just a baked potato with butter and salt, pepper, a little garlic powder makes it fire, and sour cream. Very filling, very delicious, and I'm a good fan of the peanut butter and jelly sandwich. I do peanut butter and blueberry because if I can't finish it, I could always give it to the dogs, and they're really stoked on that because grape jelly is just horribly toxic to dogs. And so I do blueberry now. Actually, every now and then I switch it up. Like, got blackberries to try, but it's a little too sweet. It's all jam, it's all sugar, but it's a little too, like, sweet. And that's very cheap, and especially if stuff lasts so long, you get it buy one, get one, and you have that for a long time. And I don't get sick of it. You guys code or somebody who like knows me and like life, I really love food, and but I also view it as very utilitarian, and it's fuel, and my balance gets all kinds of off if I don't like eat. So I have all these super simple standard things like a baked potato or hard-boiled eggs or a peanut butter and jelly sandwich that is just. And then we do the beef stew, every couple of nights, and then that's good for a few days. And gotta just keep your body full of good stuff. And it's all super simple stuff like your grandparents probably got. You know, a bag of potatoes, a bag of celery, carrots, and so the dogs could eat any leftovers or any bits of it. Oops, I didn't mean to mix in that. No onions, but get onions. Tuna salad, delicious. And like the simplest stuff. And yeah, it's when I try to make like a big old like recipe when get a ton of like ingredients that really from day to day will only be used in that recipe, and perhaps the next time it's picked up it's like past this primer, what have you, because I like spending more time at this desk than, you know, concocting a bunch of stuff, and then you end up with a huge mess for a huge pot of food, and cleaning after eating is hell on earth, honestly, because I tend to eat really light because I get really full and really tired afterwards. So I'm a grazer anyways, and I've learned to really respect food that like you can eat as it comes, like a chicken thigh, a corn on the cob, and a potato, you know, everything like as it comes. Kind of learned that accidentally from my friend Mark, who came over with the biggest, roundest eggplant I've ever seen, and he just put it in the oven, and it was the greatest eggplant I've ever had, and it was baked into itself, because I always learned that you have to put salt on the eggplant and let it like seep out its bitterness or what have you, but that's like old, long ago. They're not bitter anymore.
I need a fly to get me some bass.
What?
I need a bass fly really badly.
Sweet.
Yeah, right now.
I won't, but okay.
Counting on you, Jamie.
The squirmy worms. Been targeting bass. We caught one at the. I didn't catch a single thing, but we caught a big bass. I'm one of those old, early 90s, late 80s lures, or worms, soft plastics, but I can brush this into an oblivion because it is very satisfying. I forgot what I was talking about, but I think I'm going to eat. That's what I was talking about, duh. Hunger hit me like a truck. But I think I'm gonna eat and start figuring out what I could feed my whole body, and gotta make sure it eats. I was trying to get it back so it could go and live its life. And the Florida swamp, so you never know what kind of little critter's gonna need a hand. That's so satisfying. But I think I got a lot of the slim pickings now. I gotta ID this. It is so soft. And don't know what it could have been for. Something. But anyway, hope y'all have a beautiful evening, and I thank y'all for joining in here. And any pattern, I'm more than happy. I didn't tie much today. What did I do? What did I do? But really just wanted to pop up because again, slept on the floor, so was kind of a little distracted. Yeah, I need to find more patterns with the stuff that I currently have. Bass patterns specifically. And probably gonna try to get some, or practice with some of the soft plastics I have. The ones that the tails break off. Because I really like the you know what? That's not gonna work. Because if I tie tightly on those soft plastic worms, I feel like they're just gonna break. And yeah, I want to get the squirmy worms to make yeah. The seams are really dig the rubble. rubber fly tie worms. What are they called? Squirmy worms? Squirmy wormies. Yeah. Ooh. Wire. Wire? It's just wire. Interesting. I wonder how do you get the hook like that? Interesting. But yeah, this stuff. So simple. Yeah. Yeah. Just like that. Yeah, like that. Wait. Like, I guess like fish them on the fall. Interesting. Kinking. Could also brought a bottle of kink back. Wow, that's so impressive. Gotta find those rubber bands. Pulled them out. Can't find it anywhere. I don't know. Anywho, I hope y'all have a beautiful evening. Yeah, boy, that's so sweet. Hope you have a beautiful evening. Gonna check on my buddy and like learn some flies and stuff like that. And yeah, never hesitate. Here pretty much every day. And yeah, always feel free. Oh, that's perfect. Oh, the texture. Oh my gosh, yes. Is that a curved hook too? Very good. That's it. Alright, happy chance.